The wines of Voyager Estate continue to get better and better. Owner Michael Wright set out to ensure that the quality of Voyager wines would always be the best that nature, expertise and pure hard work could provide. He has spared little expense in creating a showcase winery and cellar door area and in making sure his winemakers have the material to create an excellent range of wines. Voyager wines reflect an uncompromising commitment to quality.
Behind me is Voyager Estate. It's one of the showpieces of Margaret River. Not only does the place look fantastic, it makes some of the region's great wines. Let's go inside and meet some of the key people. Okay, we're here at Voyager Estate, magnificent spring day in these wonderful grounds. You must be very proud of this place.
We are indeed. I can't take too much credit for the design. My father, Michael, it was part of his vision to create a place where people could come and enjoy our wines, but also enjoy something that's a little bit different in Margaret River. One
of the most distinctive features of Voyager is the architecture behind me. Tell me a little bit about that architecture.
There are many connections between South Africa and Australia, but particularly the wine industry. Our first grape cuttings came from South Africa in 1829 to Guildford, and the particular style of their architecture, this Cape Dutch style, suits our landscape very well. It's elegant, people can actually experience something different.
So Alex, what brought Michael Wright to Voyager Estate, Margaret River?
Well, he very early on understood that Margaret River had the potential to be not just one of Australia's great wine regions, but arguably one of the world's great wine regions. Michael did his own soil profiling to determine which blocks to buy and where to plant. This property had been established by a very highly regarded viticulturist, and he had tried a lot of different varieties in the soils that are here, and had proven that this was going to be a fairly special site.
The name Voyager, where did that come from?
The name Voyager actually came from a farm we had originally near York called Voyager Farm, and given his farming background, he wanted to have some continuity from one agricultural project to the next, and also we like the idea that Voyager, we're going somewhere, and we all like a bit of a journey.
Now visitors to Voyager can also take a tour, can't they, to get another experience of a vineyard?
Yes, one of the things that people don't get to see often when they're tasting wines is where it all comes from. And we take people into the vineyard, we take them past some of the aspects that they just wouldn't see otherwise. We explain about viticulture, we explain how vines grow and how the grapes ripen, and then we get to have a quick look at the winery and at our underground barrel cellar so that customers can actually see what goes into making wine and how extensive that is.
Steve James, we're in the action centre where you make the wine. Out there, you've got a really rich resource of fruit though to work with, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're very, very proud of our vineyard. I think we've got some of the best soils in the district, very uniform soil types, beautiful gravelly soils with a stony clay base underneath.
Steve, these vines are getting pretty mature now, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Well, the original vines here were planted in 1978, so they're just over 30 years old. We've got some quite young plantings in the last couple of years as well, but the average age of the vineyard's probably around about 15 years of age. And generally from about 10 years, they really start to hit their straps and start to deliver some really exceptional fruit.
And how does that vineyard influence the style of Voyager Estate?
Well, I guess is what we're looking for in the wines. We really want to keep that purity of fruit. I mean, we do so much work in our vineyard. We've got such a wonderful vineyard site here. I guess we show lovely elegance and fineness in the wines. We don't use a lot of oak, they're not over oaked. There's no artefacts sticking out. I mean, the winemaker's really about trying to preserve the purity of what comes from the vineyard.
Steve, let's have a look at the wines. The first of them is the Southern Margaret River Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon.
I mean, this is one of the great blends of the region. We tend to use about 60% Sauvignon Blanc, around about 40% Semillon. We're looking for a very clean, fresh, vibrant fruit style wine with a crisp finish.
Voyager Estate Chardonnay really been a success story for you guys, hasn't it?
Yeah, look, this is a really special little part of Margaret River for Chardonnay. We don't use a lot of wood, about 40% new oak, and so we're really aiming to keep the wine very tight, very fine, very elegant, beautiful line and length through the palate.
Steve, and the Voyager Cab Merlot?
This is our flagship red wine and comes off our very best vineyard blocks. And the wine, as far as the winemaking goes, we use 50% new wood. It's 24 months in barrel, and again, very plush. We look for nice, dry, fine tannins and really good expression of southern Margaret River fruit.
This is the incredibly popular Voyager Estate restaurant, and I'm with the guy that puts it all together, Nigel Harvey. Nigel, tell me a little bit about the style of food you're doing here at Voyager.
The style of food, what we try and do is we're probably typically a modern Australian with a lot of local produce influenced through what we do.
Nigel, obviously a lot of planning goes into putting together a menu like this.
Yeah, there certainly is a lot of planning. What it is, it's a team effort. Everybody in the kitchen puts their ideas in. We'll sit down, we'll do a menu tasting, we'll match the food and wine, and then 2 days later we'll start the menu.
Nigel, you've chosen a lamb dish to go with the Cabernet Merlot.
Yeah, that's correct, Ray. It's a beautiful Amelia Park lamb backstrap, and we've got some nice fried polenta, some sautéed green spinach and a tomato and broad bean salsa. And just the earthiness of the lamb and the spinach just works perfectly with the Cabernet.
Now this is a little different, isn't it? We've got 3 glasses, a flight of wine, and we've got the food. Perhaps tell us a little bit how this works together.
Well, what we've got here, we call it a wine flight, and this is our seafood assiette, signature dish. And what we try and do, we've got some beautiful grilled pemmican marron with a Persian feta crumble and some terasi scallops, and that's on some soba noodles with some mandarin and some seaweed. And then we've got the good old favourite prawn cocktail. And what we're trying to do here is a bit of a food and wine journey, 3 different wines, 3 different types of seafood done different ways. People can sit back and enjoy.
Well, I might try this wine, just see how that goes.
And I'll try this one.
And then we'll see what we do for food. Nigel, now a little bit different. We've got a dessert with grape juice.
Yeah, what we've got here is a chai latte cream caramel with some almond biscotti and some mulled strawberries. And we've mashed that with our red grape juice, which is unfermented grapes from our Shiraz and Cabernet. Not everybody wants to have a sticky with dessert, and we sell out of it every year.
Terrific. Well, let's try some of this.
Sounds great.